Hi, Marcus de Maria here, and today I wanted to do a video on a theme which is incredibly important. It has been for me in my life, and I'm sure it will be for you as well. If you want to go from where you are now to wherever you want to go, but 10 times faster than you can do by yourself. And I want to make a really important distinction between what is a mentor and or a coach, because I think we hear these words a lot by a lot of people that are also trying to offer you stuff. Nothing wrong with that, but maybe they use these to try and kind of bind you in. So what's the difference between the two? And then you can make a decision on what is best for you, and I'll tell you what was best for me. So let's take the mentor. A mentor is somebody who's already where you want to be. So think business, think Richard Branson. Okay, so if you had him as a mentor, what would he do? Well, immediately he'd come into your business and make huge impact because he's already been there, done it, and has the results that you want. So he'll probably, let's say, he'll say, right, do this, do that. Oh, here's a couple of telephone numbers. Talk to this person, mention my name, not a problem. And oh yeah, no, don't do that. Oh, I did that. That cost me 100 million. Don't do that. Do this, boom, and then you're there in record time. I hope that makes sense. Now, what a coach is very, very different. A coach doesn't necessarily need to be where you want to go, but what they have is they have a toolbox of little tools that they bring out. So for example, they say, well, I've got a couple of questions that I'm going to keep asking you, to keep you focused. That's another tool that they have, keeping you focused. Maybe there are some kind of little games that they play with you. There's a questionnaires to find out, where you are, where you want to go. They'll spend more time with you. Here's another thing that they'll do is they'll keep you accountable, which a mentor might not do, by the way, because a mentor doesn't really have time to talk to you every single, let's say, week or every other week. And what a coach will do is they will say, well, look, let's, on this session, work on one area with you and ask lots of questions, because they're trying to get from you what's inside of you. A mentor will tell you more what to do because they've done it before. They don't have time to go deep and kind of ask you lots of questions to bring it out and all this kind of stuff. They don't have the time. What a coach will do is, let's say every other week, for example, they'll have a session and then they'll say, right, so what are we agreeing to do for the next session, which might be in 2 weeks' time. Now, here's the great thing. Because they keep you accountable, and I think that's one of the major things that a coach does, maybe the mentor does as well, but certainly a coach, that's part of the role, is that if they say at 9 a.m. next Wednesday, I need you to have done this, this, and this. Do you agree? Yes, coach, I agree, and they'll hold you to that standard that you maybe don't even hold yourselves to that standard. That's the real power of having a coach or two. I'll come on to that in just a moment. So at 9 a.m., what are you going to be doing either the night before or the morning before the 9 a.m., knowing that your coach is going to kick your ass? That is a coach's job, right? A mentor might say, well, if you don't do as I say, you're an idiot, and just walk away, right? Because why would you not? A coach will hold you that much more accountable. Minutes before, hours before, the whole night through, if you have to, you'll be doing it because you know your ass is just about to be kicked at 9 a.m. And I tell you what, I don't do coaching anymore, but what I used to do, and this is to give you an example, is I would say to people, so have you done the exercise? And they go, no, I didn't manage to. I say, great, well, we've got an hour now in your coaching session, so go ahead and do it now. Boom! And I put down the phone. Because I think, don't waste my time, don't waste your time. Then they'll do it, then they'll call me back and maybe we have some. But I'll tell you what, they always, from that point on, did whatever exercise we said we were going to do. They never ever didn't do it because they knew I was holding them what? Accountable. That's what a coach can do for you. And that's what happened in my life as well. I've had a number of mentors and coaches. I have to say, actually, I've had more mentors than coaches. And mentors are normally quite expensive. Coaches don't have to be that expensive. I mean, if you really don't have a lot of money, you could even go to some kind of a coaching academy, for example. I think that actually exists, coaching academy. And you just ask, listen, I need some coaching. Is there anybody who's coming out of the coaching academy? And you choose somebody who might be new to coaching, but has experience. And then you say, listen, you need clients, I need to be coached. How about we do a deal whereby if you give me a certain amount of coaching sessions, let's say 5 coaching sessions, then I can be your first testimonial, positive testimonial. So make sure you coach me well, because I need to make sure that I give you a good testimonial for your business, okay? Now, I wanted to talk, what else do you want me to talk about?
How do you know if you need a mentor or a coach?
How do you know?
How do you know what you need, depending on where you are?
Should really do both if you possibly can.
Right.
If you possibly can. Hey Dennis.
Hi.
Do you need to come in here?
Dennis, I'm sorry, we're running a bit late. Can I call you when we're ready? Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah,
Oh, well, we're going to do some, yeah, okay. Yeah, so say that again?
So the question.
Yeah, I mean, this is about price. I mean, if you can afford it, get a mentor. You have to pay for a mentor sometimes. Sometimes you get a mentor for free. Should I talk about that? Yeah, okay. Now, I was just asked by my crack team here whether do you get a mentor or do you coach, and how do you know? I mean, in general, remember, do you want to be mentored by somebody like a Richard Branson, like a T. Harv Eker, like a Robert Kiyosaki, like a Donald Trump? They're not going to coach you. They don't have the time. They don't have probably the patience. They're like, do this, do that, and if not, you're stupid, because I know, okay? So that would be a mentor. I've gravitated towards mentors, but in my earlier time, when you're just starting, you really need maybe a little bit more nurturing, maybe. You need more of a coach. Then once you're at a certain level, I guess you can probably get much more of a mentor. So give you a concrete example for me in my life. So I've got 2 mentors at the moment. My first mentor was T. Harv Eker. Now, he was my mentor for training on stage and also offering products on stage, because I did training, but I wasn't at world-class level. So I'd already been coached, etc., but I wasn't at a world-class level. There were certain things that were still missing. And since that time of him mentoring me and his team coaching me, so he wouldn't be doing the coaching, but he would be doing the mentoring, giving me these nuggets that made, oh my goodness, I've sold probably more than $30 million off stage, big stages, but I could not have done this without him. I mean, I studied his videos. A coach can't do that. I studied, how did he move? Did he raise his hand? Did he not raise his hand, etc. And I had to do a lot of work, but it doesn't matter, because he's somebody that I look up to, and therefore I will. A coach, maybe I will do, but I might, because they haven't done it, would I really do exactly everything that they say? See, that's the difference, and you need to know yourself as well. So to give you another example, my current mentor in business is Dan Pena. Just this year, I've spent over £36,000 just on Dan Pena. Why? Because we're talking about making millions. So would you spend 36,000 in order to make millions? And I'll tell you what the answer is. Most people wouldn't. Why? Because all they focus on is, oh, but it's 36,000, it's 36. Now, these were 2 separate, right? So it was 18,000 plus 18,000. But that's how people think, which is interesting. Maybe you're not ready for a mentor yet. Maybe that answers the question. Maybe you need a coach first. Just start with that. But here's one thing that I will tell you. Because some people will say, well, I don't know whether I can afford it. I have to tell you, you can't afford not to have either a mentor or a coach. You can't afford not to, because don't you want to get to where you want to go 10 times faster? You can't do it as quickly without a mentor or a coach. It is faster. I mean, that alone should be a reason for you to get one. It's safer, because you're going to make so many mistakes without. By the way, you still might be making mistakes here, but as soon as you make a mistake, you ask your coach or mentor what to do, and they just go, do this or do that, well, try this, whereas you're like, what do I do? So again, it's faster. You'll make less mistakes, and it's just much safer, because they know what to do, or this person will find out what to do, whereas this person already knows what to do. So, I mean, there's 3 reasons right there why you must get a mentor and a coach. A mentor is much more challenging to get. So if you ever find a mentor, you need to rugby tackle them and pin them to the ground and make sure that they mentor you for as long as possible. Sometimes you can't pay for mentors. You can always pay for a coach. But sometimes mentors, I mean, Richard Branson, you'd have to maybe see whether you can add more value to these people. The value that you add here is probably payment. But here, they might not take payment. Or it'll be a big payment. So maybe you can add more value. So for example, you'd want to be working for Richard Branson for free, wouldn't you? I mean, and some people go, no, I need to get paid. That is such short-term thinking. I mean, they will give you nuggets that nobody has, I mean, imagine spending 6 months being the personal assistant to Richard Branson. You would go back to your business, change everything, and within a year, you'll be a multi-millionaire. Of course you would. Question is, would you do it? And it always comes back to the belief in yourself. Okay, so what are you waiting for? Why are you even watching this video? Get out there, get yourself a coach and or a mentor, but at least start with a coach. So I hope that helps.